Let's take this over now. I want you to rock, rock. One in a Million, the Aaliyah story documentary. Ain't gonna talk too much. We're gonna get straight into it. So I even requested a video of Aaliyah yesterday. Now I told him it was crazy because I was already doing. I got a lot coming. Um, season 3 is next month of Benj with Mars. I just want to make sure y'all know that started here with the whole making reactions season. Like that started here. Like make sure y'all remember that started here. I don't know. I don't watch anybody else. That just came into my head, just being creative. But without further ado, shout out to everybody that's been showing love. You know what I'm saying? I've been replying to all comments. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna talk too much. Like I said, we're gonna get straight into the video.
Boy, my fellow old souls, throwbackers and time travelers, it's your boy
Nice.
Dre Signs here, and I'd like to introduce you to my new channel, Throwback Central. This is everything about the golden age of music from the 60s all the way to the 2000s, and I'll be giving you documentaries, discussion topics, updates on artists, and even advice on personal life. Aaliyah Dana Horton, otherwise known as the Princess of R&B. She first came at a time when the artists in the urban scene were either straight up hip hop or R&B. No solo artists around that time came with that soft R&B side with the street edge. When Aaliyah released her debut album Age Ain't Nothing But a Number in 1994, she definitely filled that void. She further released 2 more classic albums and embarked on a promising acting career, starring in films such as Romeo Must Die, Queen of the Damned, and even securing roles in the Matrix sequels. Now, I'm a massive Aaliyah fan, not just of her music but her being. She seemed like such a beautiful, pure soul that was taken away from us way, way, way too soon. She was extremely talented and she was literally ahead of time. She was ahead of the game in terms of like musical sound and fashion. With a lot of like people replicating her style to this day, to this very day, to this day. You heard?
To this day. To this day.
Yeah, man. But no, in today's videos, we'll be discussing the short life of Aaliyah, her struggles, her rise to fame, and her promising career until it was sadly cut short in 2001.
Yeah.
On Throwback Central,
Rest in peace,
it's your
Aaliyah.
boy Dre Signs. Let's
Get it, get it.
Let's take this over now. I want you to ride.
Born on 16th January 1979 in Brooklyn, New York, Aaliyah came from humble beginnings in a musical family. Her own mum was a singer that decided to put her dreams to the side to raise her kids.
Okay.
Her auntie, though not by blood, was Gladys Knight, who was once married to Aaliyah's uncle Barry Hankerson.
Oh shit. I didn't
Aaliyah's
even know that.
name is an Arabic name which means the highest, most exalted one, the best. A name which Aaliyah was determined to live up to every single day. In 1984, at age 5, Aaliyah and her family, including her older brother Rashad, moved to Detroit, Michigan, where Aaliyah was enrolled into a private Catholic school, Jesu Elementary, which had a drama class, and in there is where she discovered her passion and love for performing. She took part in plays such as Annie and 42nd Street.
We were doing 42nd Street, and she picked up the coin, and her eyes were shining, and she said, "It's a dime." A dime! And then she put up her arms, and with her eyes wide open, "We're in the money." I think that was the moment when she connected, and she thought, this is it. This is what I love doing. And she was just in the 3rd grade at that point.
It was my first experience with singing and dancing and acting all at one time, and I absolutely fell in love with it, and I knew from then that it was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
In 1989, Aaliyah would eventually compete in the popular singing show Star Search. Though she didn't win, she felt more determined than ever to achieve her dreams by any means
Comment down below, what do you feel really happened to Aaliyah?
necessary. At that point, nothing could stop her. After the show, Aaliyah's uncle Barry Hankerson would shop around different record labels looking for a deal for his niece, but to no avail. As a result of that, he then decided to form his own record label, Black Ground Records, and sign Aaliyah at the age of 12.
It down on the whole R. Kelly thing.
In 1993, after Hankerson managed to sign a distribution deal with Jive Records, he would introduce Aaliyah to recording artist and producer R. Kelly, Mr. Kells.
That's the Pop Pop and R&B.
R. Kelly would end up being a mentor.
I'm gonna be 100% with his music still. I just feel like what he did was 100% wrong.
To Aaliyah, and would end up writing and producing Aaliyah's entire debut album, ironically titled Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Ironic, right? What a title. Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. And who is that lurking in the background of the album's cover? That's right.
Kelly.
None other than R. Kelly, Mr. Kells. When asked about how they came up with the title of the album, Mr. Kells had this to say.
She's running around the studio one day with her friends, talking a lot of smack, talking about age ain't nothing but a number, girl. I was like, what you trying to say? So immediately I heard the song, you know, and I said, I called her back 15 minutes later, told her, check this out. So we cut the track right then and there.
Yeah, I call BS, like big major BS, right? Like, who you think you're fooling, bro? You ain't fooling no one with that. But you know what? We'll get into that later. But anyway, the album would go on to be released on the 24th of May 1994 and be a success, selling over 3 million copies in the US and 6 million copies globally. Wow, not bad for a first timer, for sure. The album's debut single, Back and Forth, which is one of my favorites, peaked at number 5 on the Hot 100 and topped the R&B and hip hop charts for 3 weeks.
Just don't care.
The album also spawned singles At Your Best and the title track Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, which also
lie, yo, that era was so golden, and I'm not even from that era, but still I gotta give props.
made it to the top 100, with the former peaking at number 6 and the latter peaking at number 75. The album was also well received by critics, so you know things were looking good for Aaliyah, or so they seemed. At around this time, R. Kelly and Aaliyah would do a lot of press and interviews in relation to the album, and the public began to notice that the two, they grew extremely close, like maybe too close. Stepping out in matching outfits, talking about their best friend and all that good stuff. And mind you, Aaliyah was only 15 at the time and R. Kelly was 27. Despite the two denying a relationship, it eventually came out that the two were secretly married with a marriage certificate circulating around, courtesy of Vibe magazine. The certificate listed the couple as married on the 31st of August 1994. And Aaliyah's age was listed at 18 when she was actually 15. Crazy, right?
So who got that forged?
Well, Aaliyah's parents ended up annulling the marriage in February of 1995 when they found out that R. Kelly was married to Aaliyah, and according to her uncle Barry, they took her away from R. Kelly and vowed to never work with Kelly again. It was even rumored that Aaliyah was pregnant with R. Kelly's baby but was forced to abort it. Can you imagine? Like, that's crazy
wild.
right there. According to R. Kelly's former tour manager, Demetrius Smith Sr., R. Kelly married Aaliyah after she told him that she was pregnant, and he assisted Kelly in forging documents to show that she was 18. Fam, we need to throw R. Kelly's whole team in the bin. Like, they all need to be in prison with R. Kelly right now. Like, what is this behavior?
Can you see that behavior? What is happening? Who is this?
Now, Barry Hankerson, Aaliyah's uncle, claims he never knew about the relationship between R. Kelly and Aaliyah. I really take his words with a grain of salt. because there's a lot of people who don't believe him or Aaliyah's mother. Some even going as far as saying that they knew about her relationship with R. Kelly all along, but you know, they didn't say anything. They just wanted the money. Everything was good
everybody just wanted
when the money was there.
Situation.
You know what I mean? But when they saw the marriage, they just had to cut it. But yeah, it's all mad. It's all speculation, but yeah, I take it with a grain of salt regardless, because you never really know. The industry is really a sick place sometimes, so yeah, nothing is really too far-fetched, you know what I mean? The whole situation is just crazy, to be honest. Like, fair enough, you know right from wrong at age 15, but Aaliyah was literally groomed and brainwashed by R. Kelly, a 27-year-old man at the time, and that's just not okay. Not taking anything away from the man, as I personally think he's a musical.
Hold up, didn't they say the same thing happened to him by his sister though? But yeah, same thing. What he's about to say, I'm not taking anything away from him musically. He definitely was talented, but that don't take away from what he did.
Genius, and I still enjoy his music from time to time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Cancel me if you wanna, but hey, I'm still gonna listen to that man's music. I enjoy it. Music is music, B. And I can separate, the music from the artist.
Yeah.
But I think he's definitely a sick man. Like, he's been dealing with demons, and quite frankly, I think he needs help, man. But he needs to acknowledge the fact that he has a problem.
And he was wrong.
And not say stuff like,
I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big
heart.
Like, come on, man. Yo, that whole interview was just so funny and sad at the same time. But yeah, thankfully, R. Kelly and Aaliyah...
No, what's funny is I never knew people was going to make that interview a meme, to be honest.
Wouldn't work together ever again after that. After Age Ain't Nothing But Another, that was a wrap. It's a wrap.
Your love is a one in a million.
On and on and on. Your love.
In 1996, after Barry Hankerson and Aaliyah left Jive Records, they would sign with Atlantic Records, whom they initially feared that they wouldn't be able to, recreate the success without R. Kelly, as he produced and wrote the first album. However, Aaliyah believed in herself, and on that label, she met producers Timbaland and Missy Elliott.
So we got out of there, we went to Atlantic Records, and even Atlantic Records said to me, well, Barry, we think Diane would be okay with Robert working with her again. How are we going to repeat the success you just had? And it was something inside of me that kept saying, we'll do it again. We'll do it again. I believe in Aaliyah. Y'all believe in R. Kelly. I believe in Aaliyah. And we did it again.
Missy Elliott and Timbaland recall initially being nervous to work with Aaliyah, as she's she was already like a popular singer. She had a successful album out, and they were just starting out at the time, so it makes sense. But to their surprise, Aaliyah was very humble and treated them like she literally treated them like family. She treated them as equals, eventually forming a very close relationship with the both of them.
Shout out to Missy
and together they would create the masterpiece we know today as One in a Million, released on the 13th of August 1996. The album would spawn 6 successful singles: If Your Girl Only Knew, Got to Give It Up, the title track One in a Million, 4-Page Letter, The One I Gave My Heart To, and Hot Like Fire. The album would end up being an even bigger success than its predecessor, selling 3 million copies in the US and 8 million copies.
I just thought about that. She was doing all this at 15. That really just bust my head.
Worldwide. Come on, Aaliyah, do your thing. The album has also been listed amongst the best albums of its era due to its fresh futuristic sounds and content, thus elevating the careers of Timbaland and Missy. Shortly after the release of One in a Million, Aaliyah would take a break from the industry and focus on her education, eventually graduating from the Detroit High School for the Fine and Performing Arts in 1997 with a 4.0 GPA. Jeez, and she was smart too.
What does B sound familiar?
In 1999, Aaliyah could finally tick another box off her checklist when she landed her first acting role in Romeo Must Die, one of my favorite movies as well, man. She starred alongside established actors such as Jet Li, Delroy Lindo, Russell Wong, Isaiah Washington, and Anthony Anderson, amongst many more. But she still held her own though, she did well. For her very first role, she acted very well, and the movie was a huge success as well, grossing over $91 million against a budget of only $25 million. Like, that's crazy. That's big money right there. Aaliyah also contributed to 4 songs on the film soundtrack, one of which is Try Again, which led to 2 MTV Video Music Awards and a Grammy nomination. The film soundtrack album also went over to sell 2 million copies worldwide. After completing Romeo Must Die, Aaliyah began dating Rockefeller Records CEO Dame Dash in the summer of 2000, up until her passing the following year. According to Dame Dash, the two had talked about marriage and were planning to get married in the near future. Throughout her relationship, Aaliyah continued to work in Hollywood, starting work on her second film, Queen of the Damned, where she played an ancient vampire by the name of Queen Akasha. The film was released posthumously after Aaliyah's death in 2002, and also went to be a success, grossing over $45.5 million against a budget of $35 million. After filming movies, Aaliyah had a chance to jump back on her music career and record her self-titled album, Aaliyah. The album eventually released on 17th July 2001, going on at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and selling over 187,000 copies in its first week. Unlike the previous album, Timbaland wasn't as present on this project, only producing 2 songs on the album, and Static Major from the R&B group Player being hired as the lead writer for the album. The album spawned 3 singles: We Need a Resolution, Timbaland, and Rock the Boat. With the last 2 being released posthumously. On the 22nd of August 2001, Aaliyah began shooting the music video for Rock the Boat, directed by popular music video director Hype Williams. They began shooting underwater shots for the video in Miami, Florida. The next day, the crew would travel to the Bahamas, which is a 45-minute flight from Miami. Now this is where I have a problem with the making of the video. So the synopsis of the video was to have Aaliyah in a beach kind of environment, singing to the camera, swimming underwater and dancing on a boat. Now, why did Hype Williams decide to move the shoot to the Bahamas when all of those things could have been done in Miami? Like, isn't Miami known for beaches?
Yeah,
like
facts.
Miami has 16 beaches, bro. Clear waters and white sand. Like, what was the need to spend more money by going to the Bahamas? Like, listen, I literally work at a record label, right? And one thing I know is that though labels are willing to spend extra money if needed, they do not like to waste money unnecessarily like any other company.
That's a fact.
And to me, it just looked like moving the whole shoot to the Bahamas was just unnecessary. This is where it gets even crazier, right? According to Dame Dash, Aaliyah wasn't even too keen on going to the Bahamas for the shoot. But being the professional that she is, she decided to just go and get it over and done with, you know? She even ended up like leaving the Bahamas a day earlier than she was supposed to because she just wasn't feeling it. Something in her gut was telling her like, yo, something ain't right. Anyway, they're all in the Bahamas shooting the video with Aaliyah's close friend Fatima Robinson in attendance. Like, she's there to choreograph the dances. Now, if you don't know who Fatima Robinson is, I suggest you do your research because she is a choreographer that has worked with Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Backstreet Boys, Mary J. Blige, the Black Eyed Peas. I mean, this woman has worked with everybody in the industry.
Goated.
She's definitely a legend. Like, she was even in a few scenes with Aaliyah in Romeo Must Die. Yeah, I caught that. But anyway, the whole trip was a bit eerie to me. Like, Fatima would go around taking so many pictures of Aaliyah and the crew, not knowing that this would be like the last time she'd see half of them alive. She even took this eerie picture of Aaliyah asleep, like on the set of the video, claiming that she looked peaceful.
The boat had a room and Aaliyah was in this one room and she was sleeping. And I remember like, wow, she looks so beautiful. So I went up, got really close, and took a picture of her. She never woke up or anything. The picture is beautiful of her just laying there sleeping.
Don't take a picture. Don't take a picture.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but that picture looks kind of eerie.
Yeah.
Like, I guess she looks peaceful, but she also looks dead, if that makes sense. Like, her eyes are closed, and this was just a few hours before her death. So that's really an eerie picture.
I didn't know nothing about that. Bro.
Anyway, after the video had done filming a day in advance, Aaliyah and her crew were ready to go. And as they all hopped on the boat to take them back to shore, Aaliyah's last picture was taken. Now, everyone you see in this picture is dead.
Time out. Ain't no way. That's crazy.
Aaliyah, family friend Keith Wallace, stylist Anthony Dodd, hairstylist Eric Foreman, representatives for Virgin Records Douglas Kratz and Gina Smith, makeup artist Chris Maldonado, and security guard Scott Gallen. Sadly, all passed away in the plane crash that followed moments after. Fatima, Hype, the dancers, and a few others decided to stay back at the Bahamas as they still had one more day before their scheduled flight back to Miami. So they were like, you know, why not stay one more day and enjoy the Bahamas? You know, makes sense. As Aaliyah's flight was scheduled for the next day, they literally had to send a different and a much smaller plane to come and, you know, take her and her crew back to Miami. Now, this is where the issue was. As I just mentioned, the plane was way too small to take Aaliyah and the whole crew, as them and their luggage would have caused an overload on the plane. According to reports, the pilot of the plane, Luis Morales III, was heard arguing with Aaliyah's crew prior to takeoff about the plane being way too overloaded and it not being a safe flight.
Some persons were saying that the pilots were arguing with the passengers, saying that it's too much weight to put on the plane. But the passengers, I understand, said that their luggage must go and we must go. I cannot leave anything.
He tried to convince them that the plane was way too overloaded.
Which I think? Y'all think that's true or false? Y'all think that's cap? Or y'all think like, yeah, it could have been a possibility that really happened?
But they insisted that they had to pay, you know, for staff, and they had already paid for the plane, and they needed to be in Miami that night. So, you know, I'm guessing the pilot kind of gave up and decided to take the whole crew back to Miami with him. I find it hard to believe that none of them, like not even one of them, said, okay guys, this is not safe, this is not worth it, you know, it's not worth our lives. how about we split in half? Like four of you go first, and then you can come back, and then the rest of us go as well in a different flight. Like, I just don't understand why they were in such a rush. The insistence from the crew would cost them their lives. Luis decided to fly them all back to Miami, so shortly after takeoff, the plane tilted to the left and eventually nosedived into a marsh before exploding and bursting into flames. Victims were found all scattered a few feet away from the plane, their bodies burnt and some being so injured to the point that they were unrecognizable. Interestingly enough, the pilot was not authorized to fly the plane. Luis Morales had received probation for crack possession less than 2 weeks before the flight. Traces of cocaine and alcohol were also found in his system upon completion of an autopsy. 6 of the 9 people on board, including the pilot, died instantly on impact. Aaliyah's bodyguard, Scott Gallin, hairstylist Christopher Maldonado, and Anthony Dudd succumbed to their injuries hours later, and all 9 people were dead. Aaliyah died instantly. She was just 22 years old.
How she died instantly? It's speculation with that. That's why I'm asking. Like, that's crazy.
On the 31st of August 2001, Aaliyah's friends, family, and fans gathered in a Catholic church in Manhattan, New York, to bid her an emotional farewell. The streets were blocked off and a large number of fans were posted outside in support to Aaliyah. A lot of celebrities in attendance, from Monica, Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Tank, her boyfriend Dame Dash, Mike Tyson, Usher, Shari Headley, Busta Rhymes, and more. At the end of the service, 22 white doves were released to fly away, each representing a year in Aaliyah's life.
Imagine where she went to this.
But check out how grown up she already sounded back then.
Her music still lives on to this day, with her influence being present in a lot of new musicians' material today. Although she wasn't here for long, she did what God sent her to do and left her mark on earth forever.
Rest in peace to her. Man, shout out to Throwback Central. Shout out to Throwback Central, man. Damn, that's crazy. Let me know one of y'all favorite Aaliyah songs and let me know what you think really happened. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a whole lot of speculation with that situation. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Love is love, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next video.